Meeting to order, and I will ask, please call the roll.
Mr. Newmoth?
Present.
Ms. Kohler? Here. Ms. Kalinowski? Here. Mr. Darrow?
Here.
Mr. McClelland?
Here. We are all here, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the board minutes from our last meeting. Could I get a motion? Everybody's had a chance to review the minutes? So moved.
Second.
Mr. Darrow and Mrs. Kohler. Have a roll, please.
Vice President Darrow?
Yes.
Ms. Kohler?
Yes.
Ms. Kalinowski?
Yes.
Mr. Newmoth?
Yes.
President McClelland?
Yes. Now for tonight's agenda, which is not a very long one. I guess first question, any additions or corrections to the agenda?
There are none.
Okay. Then may I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Mr. Newmoth. A
Second.
Mrs. Kohler. Ms. Kohler. Roll call, please.
Mr. Newmoth?
Yes.
Ms. Kohler?
Yes.
Ms. Kalinowski?
Yes.
Vice President Darrow?
Yes.
President McClelland?
Yes. Okay, we are at a moment for a public hearing. Do I just turn it over to you then?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Sawyers.
Thank you, President McClellan. Members of the Board of Education, under Ohio Revised Code, whenever a school district intends to rehire a retired individual that retired from the school district within the same classification, a public hearing is required by statute. Presently within our school district, we have the intent to rehire a retired bus driver and a retired classified substitute custodian. The classified personnel, even as a substitute under the provision of current statute, require the same action because they're coming back as a substitute. So under Ohio Revised Code, you are required to host a public hearing to allow for public comment from anyone within our community on the intent to rehire such individuals. This afternoon, it's Ronald Warner as a bus driver and Deborah Dean as a classified substitute. At this time, is there anyone present wishing to participate in the public hearing? Seeing none, we fulfilled the statutory requirement, and I would request that the agenda continue and we close the public hearing at this time.
Any motion to close the public hearing? We'll just close it.
Required, just close.
Okay, then we will close. Communications to the board, superintendent items for tonight. Any superintendent items? Mr. Sawyers?
Thank you, President McClelland. As you're aware, we were going to adjourn after we have the public meeting into executive session, and then we'll adjourn with no business expected thereafter for State of the Schools. So tonight we actually have our annual State of the Schools address. I will publicly announce the intended recommendation for the start and end times for the 2017-18 school year during the comprehensive report that we will provide this evening related to our purpose as a school district, our continuous improvement plan, and our commitment to excellence. So I really have no other updates for you this evening. The bulk of the content will happen during State of the Schools, and we'll have additional information. You know, I've been busy for the last few weeks working on a lot of schedules based upon our weekend meetings. So I do want to publicly thank you for coming in to meet with me individually or in pairs over the weekend so that I can give you all the information that we will publicly announce tonight.
We are announcing tonight?
Yes, we are. So, and the public input process will begin tomorrow. It will continue through Friday of this week. Then over the weekend, I'll disaggregate all the input that we receive. On Monday, I'll meet with leadership, and on Tuesday, January 31st, we will announce the new start and end times for the 2017-2018 school year to make them official. But tonight, during State of the Schools, you will see my recommendations.
Great.
All right, thank you very much. Any board liaison reports this evening?
Apologize for that. That's the 4:30 start.
One thing.
Just had a nice breakfast with Marlene Brisk, who is the new city council representative for the schools. So we just talked about issues facing the schools and how the city may work together going forward, and we'll continue to do so on a regular basis.
Good. Thank you.
And Mr. Sawyers and I met with the PTO leaders to take them through reconfiguration, and what it means for the PTOs. So they actually have to form a new PTO because we have a new one additional building that we're breaking the grades into. So they have been working to look at, which activities belong at which school and with which grades, and then actually starting up a new PTO. So they have quite a bit of work to do before the end of the school year to get their officers lined up and align all the appropriate activities to the right grades.
I would add they're extremely excited.
Yes.
They think that the entire reconfiguration study process, with all the public engagement that we provided and communication, was very well received. And they're actually extremely excited about the new opportunity that the configuration provides to eliminate, quite honestly, some of the perception of competition in between buildings and what they can do to now have their identity for specific grade level bands that we're affiliating to each specific school for next year. So they were excited.
Yeah.
It's a great meeting.
The PTO, for those, that grade band, are there going to be a lot of new people that they're going to be bringing in, or is the current makeup of that PTO organization for the elementary such that some of them will just move to one building and some will move to another based on the grades that they're engaged
It'll be
in?
a combination because each year there is a new president, there are new officers, but past presidents stay on as well, so there's continuity. I think they'll probably be at the pre-KK, it will probably be a whole new team. So they'll need some mentoring. But now that we have this leadership group that meets regularly, I feel like it wouldn't be nearly as difficult as if they were just in their silos. And we also currently have a PTO liaison role that kind of works across all the PTOs. And I think that's helpful right now too.
Awesome.
Yes.
Any other liaison reports? All right, seeing none, we are at the stage of the agenda for public participation. And do you have any? No one here yet. I guess they're all waiting for the 6:30, the big show. So then moving on to the treasurer's items. And whenever you're ready. Oh, I need a motion and a second for treasurer items. That's correct. May I have a motion to review the treasurer's items?
So moved.
Mr. Darrow?
Second.
Ms. Kalinowski? Now, Treasurer Jenkins.
Okay, so I sent the financial report and appropriation modifications out with the agenda. They are attached. Well, they should both be attached, although I'm not seeing the other attachment. Oh, no, that wasn't in. Still getting used to this. Anyway, so the financial report, we are still on plan to spend our revenue assessment, revenue collections. I do want to point out that income tax sharing is lower than it typically is. Without saying names of companies, one company was reporting reporting their non-income tax sharing payment along with their income tax sharing payment to RETA. They deposit it with that. Then the income tax collection agency let the city know, and so that's been backed out. So that's why you see that it's only about $80,000 this month. I do expect to still end on plan, but I do want to just bring up the risk associated to the recent retail news about a couple of the companies that are part of our tax base, especially the limited, and then there's Abercrombie and Fitch. So we really need to watch those income tax sharing pieces. I've been in contact with the city. At this point, they really aren't offering any guidance. They're not seeing any reductions yet, but I'm going to keep a good eye on that. All of our expenses, we are under in salaries and retirement benefits. We're over in purchase services and supplies slightly, and then under in capital outlay. I do believe that the personnel services and the retirement benefits are going to continue to be under. That's the area that Superintendent Sawyers and I and his team are trying to find the reductions in the current year. And those are really the compounding reductions that we're trying to find to impact the 5-year forecast.
What about the purchase services? Why?
Purchase services or timing, we have a lot of budget transfers between some of the funds, just within the buildings and departments. So I'm not concerned about that. It was only $10,000 over.
The month.
For the month, yeah, 190 over for the year. So we're gonna continue to watch that to see what exactly is driving that. But overall, $300,000 under budget to date. The appropriation modifications. Also, I've included the explanation in the new setup, the new format. So you can see that we have $11,500 increase to student activities. That's due to the 5th grade choir going to Kings Island. That trip was not budgeted when they submitted their budget. And they will collect fees to cover that cost. We also have a $16,375.88 increase in district managed account or the extracurricular accounts. That's due to STEM. There was an extra night and there's an extra night for the swim team and hotel for a competition that they were not anticipating. I think there was a death, a student death in one of the schools that they were competing or was hosting the event, and so they ended up switching and doing 2 days. So that was paid for by fees, and then the boys track camp has additional supplies, but all of those have an offsetting revenue. And then $56,888.04 increase in auxiliary services. Because Marburn is coming into the district, we become their fiscal agent for the state funds that they receive. And so we're still trying to figure out with the Department of Education how much is left from when they were in Columbus to how much will come to us. But we know that we have at least this amount of money, the almost $57,000. But again, that's state funding that will come as a pass-through to the district.
Questions? Motion to approve?
Vice President Darrow?
Oh, that's right, yes.
You did that.
Yes.
Ms. Kalinowski?
Yes.
Ms. Kohler? Yes. Mr. Newmoff?
Yes.
President McClellan?
Yes. Okay, superintendent's items, we can take them all together from A through F. Mr. Sawyers, I need a motion to accept items A through F on superintendent items.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Newmoff. Mr. Sawyers.
Thank you, President McClellan. Letter A for personnel are standard employee actions related to personnel business within our school district. There's nothing that is out of the ordinary in relationship to the actions that you're being asked to approve this evening. They're all standardized for human resources. Letter B for general business, you have recommendations for the student teaching and course weight correction for one other item that was found in the program of studies for the high school after it was reviewed. So we're asking for the correction this evening. Letter C for board resolution is to approve complimentary passes, specifically for Golden Buckeye citizens within our school community, veterans, current or former Board of Education members, retirees, municipal officials, and current fire, police, and safety officers of the city of New Albany and Plain Township. So you have to take formal action to authorize the eligibility to have a complimentary pass, both for interscholastic activities or fine art performances for those specific groups. And it's my recommendation that we continue such within our school community, given the service and or role they play. Letter D is field trips. Again, standard actions for specific events that our students are participating in as part of their extended learning opportunities, both in interscholastic athletics as well as co-curricular activities. Donations, as always, we're very, very grateful for everything that comes to the school district. There's a large donation amount related to Continental Furniture for the middle school. Mrs. LeBeau had worked with the vendor to get a couple additional pieces of flexible furniture to benefit students within her school facility, and that was the retail value that was placed on the item by Continental. And lastly, board policy for letter F is a rescindment this evening. So we're actually asking to rescind and delete the policy. It's all both one action on the board. It just is an outdated policy. We're in the process of working with my new administrative assistant, Amber Tishankle, to begin, and I will preview for you. Coming forward with lots of board policy work. We now have a very structured process in place that now that I have help to do it. Amber's here, and you're going to start this in February. That you will start seeing several board policies for first reading, second reading, and that process will continue until we march through all the updates that are necessary. So tonight is just a rescindment. Thank you.
Questions or comments? Can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Kalinowski?
Yes.
Mr. Newmoff?
Yes.
Ms. Kohler? Yes. Vice President Darrow?
Yes.
President McClellan?
Yes. Second, public participation time, and I don't believe we have anybody added. So at this point, then, I'd like a motion to enter into executive session as permitted by section 121.22G4 of the Ohio Revised Code for preparing for negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mrs. Kohler, a second?
Second. Mr. Darrow.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Kohler? Yes. Vice President Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Newmoff?
Yes.
Ms. Kalinowski?
Yes.
President McClellan?
Yes. And as a reminder, following an executive session, which there will be no action that's taken, we will adjourn and then move over to the McCoy for our 6:30 State of the School. So for those of you who are watching, you can take a break, have dinner, and join us again at 6:30 for the State of the Schools. Thank you.
Are we